All right. The new Elder Millennial has something else stupid to say.
Barack Obama must be on the list. I mean, that's the only conclusion I could come to if I employ liberal logic, is he's on the list. So you guys have been screaming from the hilltops to release the list, something you didn't care about the previous 6 months, the previous 8 years, or the last 4 years under Biden, but you're demanding...
Yeah, we have. As a matter of fact, everybody has been screaming to release the list. Both the left and the right have been screaming to release the list for years. For years we've wanted the list released. You're making it up that the left didn't want it released until now. No, that's incorrect. Everybody has wanted it released. The only thing different now is that now we finally have a party, or at least part of a party, that actively doesn't want the list released. Up until now, everybody wanted the list released. Well, I mean, everybody other than those involved. But continue.
Under Biden, but you're demanding it now and saying if Trump doesn't release it, it's proof he's on the list. Congress went to recess. That's proof they're protecting him. He's on the list. There's photos 40 years ago of Donald Trump and Epstein. It's proof he's on the list. There's pictures with Biden. There's pictures with other politicians and celebrities, but I don't hear you screaming that they're guilty.
Pause. There are pictures of Biden with Jeffrey Epstein? Where? Can you produce these pictures? See, what you're saying is that we produced pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, and we're making a correlation there. And then you turn around and say, well, there's pictures of Biden, of Epstein, of him with Epstein. Love to see him. You got photographs of Barack Obama with Jeffrey Epstein? Because if so, we'd love to see him. Of course there are pictures of Joe Biden. He's been around for 8 decades. But there are no pictures of him with Jeffrey Epstein. That's the part that you conveniently leave out. Proceed.
With other politicians and celebrities, but I don't hear you screaming that they're guilty. So Donald Trump said, you know what? I've had enough. He ordered Pam Bondi, release it all. Release all of the grand jury testimony for Epstein's case.
Pause. You notice how he changed his story mid-story? Trump said to Pam Bondi, release it all. No, he didn't. And then he immediately changed to release all the grand jury testimony. Ah, that's not releasing it all, is it? No, not even close. See, he wants you to hear that first part and then skip over that second part. He wants you to hear him say, Trump said to release it all, so that's what you think. That's what you believe. Then he slips that second part in, that detail, hoping you skip over that part because you're still focusing on the Trump told Bondi to release it all. It's not what he did, and that's not what she did. Once again, you lie. Proceed.
Grand jury testimony for Epstein's case. Pam Bondi and the DOJ put in the request, and it was denied. It was denied by a judge, U.S. District Judge Robin Rosenberg, who was nominated by Barack Obama in 2014. So if a Obama-appointed judge is denying the request of the DOJ to release that grand jury testimony of Epstein, she must be protecting Obama. She must be protecting Democrats. That's the only conclusion that I can come to, is taking these face value statements and movements by politicians in courts and saying it's guilt, because that's how you guys are operating all of a sudden. He must be on the list, right?
That's the only conclusion you can come to because you're fucking stupid. Another conclusion one could come to, if they use the gray matter between their ears, that lump 3 feet above your ass, is that they were protecting the victims. Dumb fuck. And we don't come to the conclusion that Trump is on the list because of any one thing. We come to the conclusion that Trump's on the list because of a whole series of things. A, he was really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Best friends, according to Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. B, there's photographic and video evidence of them partying together during the time when Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking in young girls. Partying together with young girls. There's the fact that Donald Trump is on the flight logs several times. There's the fact that there's new reporting that Pam Bondi herself told Trump that he is all over the Jeffrey Epstein files. There's the fact that now, all of a sudden, Donald Trump wants you to believe that everything in the Jeffrey Epstein world is a hoax. There's also the pedophilic behavior of Donald Trump over the years, wanting to fuck his own daughter, bragging about walking into teenage pageant dressing rooms so he could see teenage girls naked, talking about a little girl going up the escalator and how he's going to be dating her in 10 years. And then there's all the sexual assault allegations and so forth and so on. There's a pile of evidence that points to it. You have any evidence to suggest that Obama did any of that? Or are you just dumb as fuck? I didn't think that we could get a worse version of the older millennial, but fuck me, here we are. By the way, what you're doing is protecting a pedophile. You don't ever get to claim that you want to protect children, that you're in favor of hunting down pedophiles, or any of that other bullshit that we hear out of the people from the far right ever again. You specifically are protecting a pedophile. You are trying to make excuses for a man that fucked little girls. That is what you're doing. You're protecting pedophiles.